What exactly is a soul tie?
A soul tie is exactly what it sounds like, but it's been misrepresented, misunderstood, and miscommunicated by a lot of people.
Can you get a soul tie by having sex?
All right, this is the challenge. Now, this is when you go to like the Urban Dictionary and you ask, what is a soul tie? They're going to tell you something along these lines, that it is tethering together of two individuals through intimacy or sexual activity, something along those lines. There's a lot of misconceptions about soul ties, about sex, but if that's the case, think about it this way. If flesh with flesh causes a soul tie, don't shake hands with anybody.
That's true.
Don't hug anybody.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Don't let your flesh come in contact with anybody. If flesh to flesh causes that tie.
Well, some people may say, well, sex is different because it's intimate. It's a different feeling. It's you're opening yourself up to another person. So are you a lot more vulnerable to have a soul tie with that person when you have intercourse with them?
You are. You really are. And you said it in your question, your statement.
Yeah.
You're opening yourself up to them.
Does good or bad sex determine whether you have a soul tie or not?
Can a soul tie happen through sex? And yes, it can, especially if it's good sex.
Right.
Because you'll start to desire the pleasure. And once you move past the reality that this is pleasurable, you begin to think this person is producing the pleasure.
Yeah.
Not just a person. This person is doing it. When that happens, you begin to think the only place to get that pleasure is with that person. And so you begin to tie yourself in your emotions to them. And so you get tied to them in your emotions because you think, this is working, this is good. Even if everything else in that relationship is not good. Outside the bedroom, you say, this isn't working. But then you go back and say, but there is this one part that really works. And so what happens? You get tied to the pleasure molecule. You get tied to that part and say, that's what I'm after. And it's hard to break. It's hard to get away from. It's hard to get out of your mind.
Yeah.
But you don't dissolve a soul tie easily.
No.
Whether it's through sex, whether through something else. Soul ties do not dissolve easily. You have to reverse the whole purpose of the tie. The tie is through pleasure. The tie is through, I want it to be there, or I'm used to it, or this is what I crave. You're going to have to talk yourself out of it. Let's just be real. People just hook up.
Yeah.
People just have sex. People just, and they take the pleasure, but they do it selfishly. And they say, well, this person is the tool in which I'm receiving pleasure, but they're like many other people. And so they become promiscuous, and they're never tied to anyone.
Yeah.
And so you'll see people who can go have sex with a lot of people, and they have no emotions with it, no emotional tie with that. You know, oftentimes people will have their number one pick. This is the guy that I want to marry. This is the one I hope picks me. This is what I hope works out. I'm investing in that. But the whole time they got someone else on the back burner that they don't know about. And they're like, well, if plan A fails, then I guess I'll go to plan B.
Is sex the only way that you can get a soul tie?
No, it's not. You can be soul tied to people you've never had sex with. You can be soulishly tied to somebody you have never physically met in person. See, not all soulish ties have to be positive or good.
So then there's different types of soul ties.
Absolutely.
What does a truly good soul tie look like?
A truly good soul tie is based on the emotion of true love.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here is what we would say a bad soul tie, another name for them would be, that you're going to be very familiar with. Trauma bond. A trauma bond. Now, and there's a couple ways to look at a trauma bond too, but these are the cultural words that people are familiar with. A lot of the wars we fight are over stuff like this, especially back in antiquity, and go back in history. You're going to find that there's a lot of things that happen. This happens on both sides.
Yeah.
But we know there's women who are in toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Men accept that. We say they would do better away.
Mm-hmm.
But women generally won't give us that same grace. But there are men who are in relationships or marriages they don't want to be in, but they won't exit it, not because they're emotionally tied to the person, but they're emotionally tied to the provisions.
Yeah.
Men, there's a lot of men that I counsel with and talk to and deal with on a weekly basis that hate being married. They're in a miserable existence, but they're afraid of divorcing, not because they're going to be single. That's their dream.
Is it possible to have a one-sided soul tie?
It is. It is possible. The one-sided soul tie is when one person is emotionally invested and tied to someone who is not reciprocating that, whether they don't know about them or they just don't feel that way about them.
Yeah.
Let's take it to the far regions of understanding and say, how is it that these people have a soul tie to someone who doesn't even know they exist?
Yeah.
This right here will show you the foundation of how soul ties are formed.
Mm-hmm.
Cultivate it, water it, grow it, watch what happens. Soul ties can be good if they're grown correctly.
Okay, now what would you say a bad soul tie looks like?
A bad soul tie. Listen, this is where we really fall into it.